Hi, my name is Eric Tang, and I'm the co-founder and CTO at Livepeer. Today, we're going to talk about building the Web3 creator economy. This is a topic that I've been thinking about for a while now. Back in 2015, I was a part of the team, co-founder that built this app called Wildcard. Wildcard was named one of the best apps in the App Store in 2015. And for this app, it really got me interested in the idea of content creation and content consumption. Back then, mobile was still just emerging, and we really saw from kind of a builder's perspective the challenges and the interesting trends that came with building a consumer-facing and content creation application. And since 2017, we've been building Livepeer. Well, Livepeer is the world's open video infrastructure. And at Livepeer, we serve many video applications, and a lot of these applications are in the creator economy. For example, Beam is an application that started out in the film industry that helps filmmakers really showcase their work. And since then, they have expanded to other types of content, like video streaming for live streaming, and as well as creating a video gallery for creators. Bonfire is another example that helps creator move from Web2 to Web3. It's really around this idea of building a community and building a fan base for yourself. Livepeer is also very popular in the Lens ecosystem, helping applications like LensTube or Orb power video streaming features. So this is a topic that we've been thinking about for a long time, and as well, we've also been putting on events and content series with the goal of convening builders that really care about this topic as much as we do, to come and talk about this topic with each other and educate each other. For example, we hosted the community summit around a creator economy summit at ETH Denver, and it was sponsored by Polygon and Bundler, and we had really great conversations there. So for ETH Tokyo, Livepeer has some exciting prices. I want to get that out of the way first. There's a total of $5,000 of price, all going towards applications that are building Web3 creator economy apps. We have $2,500 for the best token-gated video streaming application. We have $1,500 for the best video NFT applications. And we have $1,000 for the best integration of Livepeer with another Web3 technology in the consumer space. Livepeer is the world's open video infrastructure. It is the decentralized network that's consisted of many nodes around the world, and all coordinated by a protocol that runs on the Ethereum Layer 2 blockchain. It contains many video-specific features, and today we'll take a look at what some of those features are. So here we are at Livepeer Studio, which is the gateway service for the Livepeer network. If we go to the dashboard, and we'll see there are a few different sections. Let's go into the assets section. In the assets section is where I can see all the video assets that have been uploaded before. For example, I can go in here and look at a video file that just has been uploaded. I can come back here and upload a video asset. I can just go back here and choose one of the video assets that I have picked. For example, this waterfall video that we just saw, and here it'll be uploading. While the video is uploading and processing, let's take a look at some other features. Here we have the streams feature. And here is where we can go live in front of the audience. Let's go into this section and see here is all the stream information. And let's try to go live right now. We'll go to restream.io, which is a popular in-browser live streaming application. And of course, you can also use applications like OBS or any mobile app that allows you to send out any RTMP connection. So now we're in the Restream Studio. We're going to copy the ingest URL into this custom RTMP section and use our stream key, which identifies uniquely the stream that we're about to ingest. So now that's it. I can go live in front of an audience, and as this stream goes live in a few seconds, we'll be able to see the stream. So let's go back here and see, stream is currently offline. It will become online in a minute. Here, down here, we have the playback URL, which represents the stream. Here we can, for example, share the video stream either in the embed code or simply through a URL that we can share with anybody else. And this is simply just a video player that's embedded in the web page. So now with that stream being live, let's go back to the video that we just uploaded, this waterfall video. We see now you can play it back, you can scrub around, and again, you can even download the source file, and again, you can share, copying a link, and we have this video in a browser. We can also export this video into IPFS if we want. So, here are the two big core features of Livepeer, right? Around video on-demand streaming, we call assets, and video live streaming, we call sessions and streams. But let's go back and take a look at what other features Livepeer provide that's Web3 native and specific to, especially to the hackers out there. Well, around the video on demand, you can actually mint video-based NFTs or collectibles. We all know that when you mint NFTs, these data assets should be stored on decentralized storage. But there are challenges, especially around scalable performance when you're trying to stream video to a global audience. And so here you can almost think of Livepeer as a video optimization layer that sits on top of the decentralized storage networks that allows you to still upload video assets into these networks. It can be gigabytes of videos and still use the same CID or content hashes that you get back from these storage networks and mint your NFTs, but simply pass that address or that hash to the Livepeer player, and Livepeer player will be able to upload the video, transcode it, process it, cache it around the world, and make sure that video file can be streamed around the world. You can also do token getting and access control of a video, right, using NFT ownerships to decide who gets to watch the video, for example. And these videos are all optimized for any kind of format. So whether it's short-form content, long-form content, whether it's mobile-centric consumption or desktop-centric consumption. Let's take a look at some of the documentation that allows us to build these types of apps. So we'll go to the documentation section. We'll go to the guides. Here are the developer guides. We can see here's the example of how we can upload videos, video assets using the Livepeer SDK, which is a React hooks SDK that may look a little similar to something like a WAGMI for people who are familiar with kind of Web3 SDKs. Here is an example of how to mint a video-based NFT, and even an example around how to play the video back directly from IPFS and still maintain really great kind of streaming performance. For live streaming, we we see sometimes people build live streaming and NFT drops at the same experience, right? For example, rewarding your viewers for being at your live stream, watching it by dropping NFTs to the people who have linked their wallets. We also see, of course, access control and token gating around live streaming. And a lot of people build mobile or desktop applications for live streaming. So we can also go back here and look at some of the live streaming specific documentation. Here's how you can create a live stream. You can, of course, play back a live stream just in the same way that you would play back a video on demand stream. Here's how you can add a video player into your application. Here's how you can do access control for your live stream. Another useful section in the Livepeer developer docs is the example application section. Here you can see a number of example apps. If you're building, for example, a video-based NFT app, you can check out this decentralized storage playback example that our DevRel Suhail has built. We've recently launched a really exciting feature around token-gated video. So I'm just going to, and we've built a example application to kind of show off how this works. Let me show you really quickly. Here, we're uploading a video file, but at the same time, we're also selecting a wallet that has access to this video, and only that wallet has access. So as we upload and the video is getting processed, once that's complete, we'll go and try to watch this video. And of course now, since we've already connected our wallet, you can see we're able to watch this video because we have connected the wallet that's allowed to watch. And as we switch over to a different wallet, you will see that the wallet address change. When we try to watch the video, we're not able to access. So here is the GitHub repo for that demo application that we just saw. With all the example code here and, kind of how to get started. If you wanted to, you can, just go to GitHub and search for livepeer-token-gated-VOD. And if you search for this, you will get to this page. So with that demo out of the way, let's talk about what we're here to talk about today, which is the creator economy. So for those who are maybe not as familiar with the creator economy, this is a big trend that has been evolving in the last, 4 or 5 years. What we're really seeing is the type of content that we're consuming, the type of engagement that we're engaging on the internet, starting to shift from kind of a traditional rails to this new economy, right? So here are examples like the consumers are desiring to watch content. Back then it was, the MIT open course or TV channels. Today on the internet is really about master classes or influencer content, right? But at the end of the day, the creators are really trying to do a few things on the internet, right? One is to entertain, right? This is the footage from one of the largest virtual concerts in the world. And these creators, of course, are well-known, super famous, have lots of fans from around the world. The other thing that creators try to do on the internet is to educate, right? So here's Salman Khan, who is the founder of Khan Academy, which is one of the most popular kind of education platforms nowadays, started out as a YouTube channel. And the third thing the creators are trying to do is to build a community on the internet, right? So here we can see influencers turning into big brands, e-commerce brands that all revolve around community-based e-commerce. the size of the creator economy is enormous and growing quickly, despite the COVID slowdown of all other parts of the economy in the world. In 2021, the market size was about 56 billion, and it's estimated that in 2024, it will grow to 24 billion. And this, this world encompasses many different areas, right? Whether it's esports, whether it's education, podcasting, or mobile game creation, the number is quite large. But if we look at actually the types of platforms that the creators are on, we'll see that a lot of the creators are actually just on YouTube, right? So YouTube is by far the biggest winner here, although there are many emerging platforms that are coming up and trying to compete. So we know that the opportunity in the creator economy is quite big, but there are also lots of challenges that comes with this. It's very hard to break out as a creator. So there was a research that was done by the Tilt, and it was found that content entrepreneurs usually average 9 months just to see their first dollar. And then they average about 26 months until they're able to earn enough revenue to support one person. Now, that's a long time for someone to be able to just make a living. All right, so that's probably the biggest challenge for creator these days. And the other challenge is that they don't really have control of their audience, right? Oftentimes, creators are creating content on platforms like Facebook or Twitch, where they're really at the mercy, kind of at the algorithm, right? This was a survey that was done by Patreon, and it was found that most creators actually feel they're screwed by large tech platforms and their algorithms. 70% of the creators that they surveyed feel that the social media platforms are putting them at a disadvantage, but also at the same time, 60% say that they are reliant on those platforms to showcase their work. So that's quite a discrepancy, right? They feel that they're not being well served, but at the same time, also very reliant on the platforms that they're on. And it's a very unfair system, right? From what we see here, Substack is actually the most fair, the most fair system in terms of the average revenue per year per creator that have about $25,000, which is fairly low. But if you look at the long tail, YouTube, for example, the largest creator platforms, on average, creators make 15 cents per year, right? Of course, these are not every one of them is professional, but what we see over time is that about the top 1 to 5% of the creators end up making over 90% of all the profits. And so what are the causes of all these challenges, right? It's hard to break out. Creators feel like they don't have control. The revenue distribution is very unfair. Well, most of it is caused by a few factors in combination. One is that many of these platforms are advertising driven, right? So here, what we see is the advertising revenue growth on YouTube, which has been very, very strong. So they're incentivized to continue to grow this number at basically any cost. Right? And the second is the way that these algorithms work, right? So they optimize basically for engagement because in order to maximize advertising revenue, they need to get people to spend as much time on these platforms as possible. So how do they do that? they there's a few questions. The algorithm optimizes for whether someone will click on your video, whether someone will watch your video, and whether someone will engage with your video. And what happens here is most creators end up actually spending most of their time optimizing their content for the algorithm that their content is on, instead of creating good content that actually resonates with their audience. It's just that they don't really own their audience anyways. And at the same time, because these large networks have been around for a long time and they have built up such a strong network effect, right? All of the users are on there, and people are looking for content. All of the creators are on there. People are creating content. It's very difficult to break that network effect and to compete with that, right? So what happens over time is a lot of these platforms become pretty stagnant, and they don't really innovate as much, and the feature sets are kind of just the same, right? And so all of these things in combination cause these challenges. So in Web3, we actually have an opportunity to create a new wave of technology. So what we see here is that kind of the evolution of the different eras of web technology or communication technology, right? In Web 1, we're mostly in a read-only static content type of world. Web 2, we start to move towards more dynamic content sharing, social media, podcasting, right? Messaging, all these application formats start to emerge. And in Web 3, we're really moving towards a blockchain-based key technology core layer with communities and individuals at the center of this, with dynamic content like videos or blockchain-based primitive like NFTs or even metaverses. And the interaction model is really around services and ownership of the content. And this presents a lot of really interesting opportunities. I'm going to talk about a few of these opportunities. For example, one of the big shifts that's happening is blockchain is enabling us to move from a consumer app-centric world to to turn these consumer apps into kind of economic games, right? For example, NFTs now can be used as a tool for pre-registering for an application or for a community, and this is actually becoming a lot more effective than just a sign-up form, because the expectation is that as you participate in an NFT drop or an NFT mint, you actually have the opportunity to become a partial owner of the application or the community that's being formed. And as people start to do these pre-registration around NFTs, the second steps usually revolve around content marketing to further build community support, right? So now we have a number of people that participated in the NFT mint. The second step is to create dynamic community that's strong with lots of activity. So traditionally, that's been done on crypto Twitter or Discord or Telegram, but we have a whole new wave of platforms that's emerging around Web3 social with protocols like Lens or Farcaster or CyberConnect, and this is all very fertile ground for application developers to think about. How can they leverage these new emerging ecosystems to really help communities to form and to create for the individuals in these communities to create connections with one another. And finally, we have these kind of NFT factories concept, right? What does that mean? It's really around kind of continued drops of NFTs, right? So Bored Ape to Mutant Bored Ape is a really good example, right? So Bored Apes were kind of the first sets of 10,000 NFTs, and Mutants were the second set that kind of were and I think the second set, if you own the first set, then you get priority into the second set. And there's kind of mechanics around how you can do this. Kind of industry best practices actually for a creator. You don't want to do more than 5 or 6 per year, right? Kind of for your community to really get along with it. There's also interesting mechanisms like token gating. We talked a little bit about before. For example, Stoner Cats is the first NFT animated series collection, right? So you can only access the animated series if you own the NFTs, and it is created by Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. These are kind of Hollywood celebrities. Another example that I personally really like is the UFO Club, and this is a podcast series, but you can collect these content. You can do NFT mints, and they kind of reward their community through the interesting game mechanics and NFT mechanisms. What I want to leave you with today is that the NFT, the internet is about 80% video, right? So as we think about building Web3 applications that will be used by consumers on a daily basis, the video really comes to mind, right? And why is that? Well, it's because video is engaging, it's educational, it's illuminating, and it's empowering. So I would really recommend you checking out Livepeer as you're building your hacks. Here again, I will share the resources here. You can go to the Livepeer documentation and go to the guides section to really take a look at what kind of applications you can build. And the other thing that you can do is to come to join our Discord. Just click on this link. You can go to the builders help section, and our team will be there supporting you through the hackathon and beyond. And right now, I want to pass it over to our DevRel engineer, Suhail, who will be giving you a tutorial on how to build a simple video streaming application with Livepeer.
In this workshop, we will be using Livepeer.js, which is the JavaScript key for Livepeer. It makes building with Livepeer very easy. If your project is not made with the React framework, you can easily use the Livepeer API, the REST API. It can use it on any language or framework you want. And yeah, so now for Livepeer.js, the first thing you need to set up a Next.js application, which we'll be doing now, and then installing the library. So you can open up the terminal and then go to the directory which you want to create the application. In my case, I'm going to desktop. And here we can create npx, create a next application, Livepeer app. And this will create the Next.js application. If we don't want with TypeScript and we want with ESLint. Until the Next.js application is completed, you want to also go to Livepeer Studio to create an account and get an API key. And yeah, once you come here, you should see a sign up button here. You can go ahead and sign up with your email and password. At the 1,000 transcoding minutes is completely free, so you don't need to pay for the first 1,000 minutes. But once you come here, you will see the dashboard. Then you can go to developers here and click on create an API key and give the API key a name. In my case, it's going to be FVM workshop. You can also allow codes if you want, but it is not necessary if you're not using it on your front end. Once you have it, you can grab this API key, save it some places because you will need this later. Now coming back here, the Next.js application is installed, and now we can go to the Next.js directory that is Livepeer app and install Livepeer package. Here we can also open the application into VS Code, but you can use any other VS Code editor that you prefer. Yep, the Livepeer package is now installed. And so the best way would be to follow the Livepeer guide. And from here, you have everything on how to set up in your Next.js application. And the first thing that you'd want to do is initiate client. So here in the pages, and then inside of app.js, you can create const client is equals to beta React client. And finally, you need to put your Studio API key here. You also need to import React client and Studio provider, and also Livepeer config. From @Livepeer/React. And at last, we need to wrap our application with the Livepeer config. We can do it like this. And finally, bring this component here. Save it. And yeah, that's it. Now the Livepeer is basically integrated into our application, and now we can use Livepeer into our Next.js application. So the first thing that you would want to do is this. Open the terminal and run yarn diff in order to start the Next.js application. And then you can go to localhost 3000. And yeah, this is a sample Next.js application, which we'll be using now to add our Livepeer code into it. So you'd want to clean up this code completely and just have it h1 into Livepeer app. Yep, that works. You can also remove this imports from here for now. You can also remove the styling. Oh yeah, we can keep it for now. But yeah, we have the Livepeer app here. So let's go back to the styling. And now in order to test whether the Livepeer is successfully integrated or not, we can just use a use asset to check if everything is successfully integrated or not. Now we can say use asset hook, and here you need to put the asset ID. Once you upload an asset, whether through the API or CDU or also SDK, you will get an asset ID, and then we can use that one to fetch the asset. Here in my case, I want to fetch this asset. This is the ID of it, or even you can use this one. And here we need to put this here. And finally, we can just say console.log asset, or we can just print it here. Let's do it here. Listen dot bringify asset. And if you come back to the application, you can see it's printed here. This is the ID of asset, the hash, the how it was uploaded, when it was created, and finally the playback URL. So it means that we have successfully integrated Livepeer.js into our application. So now we'll go to on how you can upload a video to the Livepeer. And for that, we would be using use create, which is very similar to use asset and use create asset. So here you can import use create asset from @Livepeer React. And here we can name from asset, input, type is going to be text, and then place order. Enter the name. And here also we can create a few states in order to save the value from the input. We can give it name, set name is equals to user state. Make sure to import user state from React. And here we are going to also have another input, and this is going to have a type file, and it's going to accept the video. And finally, we can also put the on change here, that once the person has selected the video, we can get the file and set. Let's create one more here, const video, set video, user set, and here we can say set video file. We also should add an on change here in order to save the value of the input to the state. Once it is done, it should look like this. For now, we are not going to focus much on the styling here. A simple styling should work. Margin left, then. And finally here, we need to add a button that would be create asset. That should work. And here we can say on click, handle upload. And here we can come here and create a new function called handle upload. Zoom down a little bit. And yeah, that's it. We have declared a few states here for name and for the file, a function that would be used to handle the media upload, and finally 2 input components and 1 button. As for now, we can console.log both the name and video to see if both of them is saved successfully. And once we have that one, we would be using use create asset. So here I'm going to type it something and choose a video file. Click on open and create asset. You can see we have both the name and file, which means it's working fine. And now we have to use the use create asset. We can add it here and say const is equals to use create asset. And inside of use create asset, we can pass the video. So we can say if there's a video, we would want to pass sources. It should be in a form of array. And you can also upload multiple videos if you want. In our case, we just want to upload one video. So we can say name is going to be the name. And finally, file is equals to video. And if name video is not there, here we can just render null. And inside of here, we can add create asset. We can get the data from it once the asset is uploaded. We can also get a status. We can get a progress. And finally, error, if there's any. And finally, now on the handle upload, we can call the create asset function. Now let's refresh this page. Let's give it the name, for example, test video. Click on choose file, upload the video which you want, and then click on create asset. And now this should create an asset for us. Now let's come back to the Livepeer studio, go to asset. You can see this is a test video, which the video is currently processing, but it means that the video is now uploaded to the Livepeer. And yeah, that is how you would want to upload a video to the Livepeer. And in the Livepeer.js documentation, you can also go through different examples with different hooks, such as use asset, metrics, use update asset, and lots of different options. And yeah, that was the example of how you want to upload the video to the Livepeer. And just have one more example on how you can play a video that's already stored into IPFS using Livepeer Player. So Livepeer Player provides easy to use a component to display both video and audio. It's going to be very easy. So let's first remove all of the code which we have already here. But yeah, this is the code which you want to use for uploading the video, which we have seen here. And I think you can see the video is also now uploaded and it can be playable. The video which I've uploaded is a very bad quality because I just wanted to upload it very faster, but you can upload anything you want. This was just an example video. Yeah, now in order to use the player, we can just remove this old code here and just add a div tag. And inside of this, you can add player and this player would be imported from @livepeer/react. And now in this player, you can play an asset which is already stored on Livepeer studio. You can play an IPFS hash. You can play from an Arweave transaction hash and from other places. So if in this example, maybe we have this video, if we can play it using the playback ID. So here we can just give it a playback ID and then put the playback ID here. We can also give it some stylings, names, theme, etc. But for now, we can ignore that one. So let's come back here. And now you can see we have the video player. And if we click on play, it should now play the cat video, which we see here. And yeah, let's play. Now just to make it, let's make it a little bit small. So we can say style width to be probably 70%. And yeah, that's fine. And this is the Livepeer player. Now the asset which we are currently playing is already stored to the Livepeer CD. But if you want, you can also pass here IPFS hash, and that should also work. For example, it will be IPFS ... and here you would want to put the IPFS hash. It does not depend whether your video stored on the IPFS or like W3 storage or any other places. It would automatically play it. For example, if you go to the storage, and here we have a few videos that are stored in both IPFS and ORB. For example, this is the video. I can just copy the IPFS hash here and come back to our application and put the hash here. Save it. And now if we come here, basically the video should play. And yeah, let's play it. And yep, you can see the video gets played, and you can also play. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. But yeah, this is a pre-recorded workshop. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to DM me on Discord or join us at Livepeer Discord. Can that on the CD support.